I'm Eric Hayden.
I'm Nick Mason.
And this is Neon Static. Welcome to episode 26 of Neon Static. How are you, Nick?
I am good.
Just before we start the podcast, I want to just check in on you. Are you good?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. No, I'm good.
You sound very sure of yourself.
Okay. Look, I'm trying to figure out if this is a reference to my recent medical encounters in Montreal, which I know Andre has discussed on his stream as well. I'm fine.
No,
I got
but
heat
we will
exhaustion.
get to it.
It's a thing. Anyway, it's fine.
We'll get to that in story time.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, we're back. It's episode 26. It's been since May since we recorded, so that feels a bit negligent, although we have been, busy on the video side of the house.
There's been streaming and writing and such like. And
yes. No, I do feel like we've been really going at it hard with the channel. It's just sometimes the podcast is sometimes we leave this to the side until we have something to discuss, and we have a topic. We have a couple topics today.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess before we get into any of that, we want to just give a quick thank you to all of our patrons who support the channel. It has been absolutely instrumental having all of you, helping us stay motivated and funded for travel the world. I just got a very, very expensive new lens that I never would have bought had I not had a little bit of financial help along the way from all of you. And that has helped me keep the psych high for going out and filming vlogs. I'm working on editing the vlog that we filmed throughout our trip to Montreal to the 2025 Americas Continentals.
There is so much vlog.
It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot. I've been editing it now just for maybe an hour or two at night for maybe 3 nights so far. It's starting to take shape. We don't want to tape any shapes.
Tape shape.
To the vlog.
Yep.
I taped a triangle to it.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you all for supporting the channel. It means a lot. If you are not a supporter and have been thinking about it, you can always hop over to patreon.com/neonstatic to join. It does make a world of difference. And if you really look forward to when we release stuff, consider joining. Okay. With that said, I guess with the shortest ever 24/7 news cycle. Nick, quick, what's the 24/7 news cycle?
There's a new ban list coming up on September 17th. But more about that in Deep Dive. Dive into the depths? Into the depths. Damn it. Jesus, that's the wrong one.
Let's go to spec work. Thank goodness we got that last segment. We slipped it in. It was very important.
It was extremely important, and you never would have heard anything about it anywhere but here.
The news. You come to Neon Static every 3 or 4 months to the podcast to hear the news.
The most vital news.
Yes. Okay. Spec Work is the segment where we talk about rules and cool rule things that we have had realizations or epiphanies about throughout our plays and adventures in this game. A couple things. We got an email from Nick J a while ago, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. And Nick said, "Hello, Mr. Neon and Mr. Static. Firstly, thanks for making the podcasts. You're not talking to the void. Hooray, thank you. On your discussion with Seb and transfer of wealth rules, your point about each sentence or each full stop, including indicating a checkpoint, in quotes, helped me internalize the rules a bit better. It finally made the timing on the price, trashing a steel skin, make sense to me. 1, pay for the price. 2, complete the first sentence, trash the top 4 cards of your stack, period. Then 3, check for triggers, including steel skin. 4, complete the second sentence, which is the install one of the trash cards.
Yep.
Thanks, Nick. This is awesome to hear the feedback. It does really, honestly, the realization that periods, you do a sentence until the period and then you check for anything that interrupted is huge for figuring this game out. And our spec work today has to do with that. Nick, you want to talk about our new revelation that we had?
Yeah, so there's a couple here. The big ones, right? So these are all kind of around Zwicky. A Zwicky group, which is the ID for Wayland. It's the first time each turn you gain credits from a operation or card you control, I think. Let's read the actual card, Nick.
The first time each turn you gain credits through an ability on an agenda or an operation, you may draw one card.
Agenda or operation. There you go. All right. So the reason this came up, was this in Crown of Servers, I want to say?
No.
Was it?
This was just local play, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay, right. Someone playing Zwicky played Peer Review, which peer review is reveal all but one card in HQ, period. Gain 7 credits, period. You may install one card from HQ in the root of a remote server. So normally you only have one secret card there, but with Zwicky, because you can stop after gain 7 credits, you can draw a card off your ID there. And that means that you have 2 secret cards when you go to install in the remote server.
You play the peer review and it says reveal all but one card. So you do that.
Yep.
Then you gain the 7 credits and you have a stop. So then you can say, Zwicky, the first time each turn you gain credits through an ability on an agenda or an operation, you draw a card. So you reveal everything. Then you gain credits and you draw a card, and it is still secret. You don't need to reveal it.
Yes.
And then you may install one of the cards. Yeah. Awesome.
Yep. Yeah. So similarly, one of the better uses that I found for key performance indicators, I really like the draw a card, shuffle a card back into R&D effect on it. And you can get more information because you can resolve the effects on key performance indicators in any order. Well, let's read the card, right? Resolve 2 of the following in any order. Draw a card, shuffle 1 card from HQ into R&D. Install 1 piece of ice from HQ, ignoring all costs. Place 1 advancement counter on an installed card you can advance, and gain 2 credits. So that last one, you can do first, the gain 2 credits. Then Zwicky resolves, you draw a card, then you can decide if you still want to do the draw 1 card, shuffle a card from HQ into R&D. So you can get more information. You can decide if there's something more important, like, that you want to shuffle back or less vital, depending on what you're going to draw. And you've gained effectively 1 credit because key performance indicators does cost a credit on its own. But it can even, you can draw the card and that's the piece of ice that you end up installing with the second ability, install 1 piece of ice from HQ. That kind of stuff. It can change your whole game plan, and you're not required to make the decisions on what you're doing before you start resolving it. So you can do the first one, then decide on the second one.
Yeah, it's great. I like more information and being good at thinking.
Zwicky is just such a cool, efficiency thing. And those are cool little efficiency things about it that some people might not catch.
Yeah. All right. So before we move on to here, we don't really have, it's not like a rules thing, but we don't really have a good section anymore for, the mailbag, basically. So we got just one more message I'm going to read out because it's kind of fun for us from Steven. Hey, Neon Static. I just wanted to shoot you guys a message to let you know how much I do enjoy your podcast and YouTube channel. I used to play back in 2014 a lot with my wife, but didn't get back into it again until earlier this year. Listening to your podcast really helped me get back into it all, and I was able to find a local group also that meets up regularly to be able to play in person. I also signed up for the Mega City event here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin in June, which shows
coming up soon here. Coming up soon in 9 months.
Very curious to hear how that went, Stephen, which will be my first tournament. That is awesome. Mega City is a first tournament.
Wow.
Sick.
That's cool.
It would be cool if you guys could do some more videos on more beginner techniques and tips, including deck building. So we haven't done deck building, but we did, since this email was received, release a video about the threats in Netrunner that are trying to kill you in the current 2025 meta, elevation meta. So hopefully that was helpful. And we are focusing a lot on intro and beginner content especially since right now is a great time for everyone to get into the game, since all FFG products have rotated out of the meta, and it's the smallest card pool that it will ever be again, unless there's another major rotation.
Yeah, unless something weird happens.
Right. Also, my wife 3D printed 2 of the magnetic boxes for me and painted them up.
Ooh,
remember to always run with your eyes closed. My favorite tagline I heard in a long time. Thank you, Stephen.
It's a solid tagline.
Yeah, somebody smart came up with it.
Yeah, I know. I know. Very smart and humble.
Those magnetic deck boxes, if you're not sure or not, they're not deck boxes. Magnetic boxes are for tokens. If you go back onto our YouTube channel and check our very first video we ever posted, was me showing off, recorded on my phone, a video of the 3D token boxes I made for Team Covenant tokens.
Oh yeah, those Team Covenant ones. Those, yeah, they did have. I still think they need like something to stop them from sliding.
Sure. Yeah, they're not a perfect design. And it's funny, Kevin H, who bought yours,
yes,
at some point, apparently had a rubber band around them to keep them
No.
in place, and then left them in the car.
Hang on, he did not have a rubber band. He had like 8.
Okay,
like it takes a lot to keep these things steady.
If you were like really jostling around, I think I've definitely. Had them explode all over the floor at Mansion Runner and stuff. Anyway, they were in the car with the rubber bands on them in a hot summer car. And,
oh no!
And they are like deformed now. They're like pinched around the rubber band point because they melted and kind of gave in that spot. It's kind of fun looking.
That's actually kind of neat, though.
Yeah,
I kind of like it. I mean, you no longer can do like before. You could like reorder them, and now I bet you can't because like the rubber band deformations. You know which one has to be on top and bottom and everything.
Yeah, it sort of helps.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's all we had for our spec work section and I guess mailbag. And we're going to keep things moving along swiftly. Reference to the Swift for some reason. We get a click back. It's a run event. Here we go.
No, that was a Taylor Swift thing.
All right. We are in the depths. We went into them.
Yes.
Let's talk about Montreal Continentals and our experience there. We will have a quite an extensive vlog that you can go watch soon, TM, when it is posted.
Yeah.
But let's give a recap here for everybody.
Yeah, no, it was a grand old time. Let's see, we played in Crown of Servers on the Friday before the official tournament began, with Jason, aka Plural, one of the lead devs on Netrunner DB. He also does a lot of work on Cobra, the tournament.nullsignal.games website.
Yep.
Where you can go to find, you can go to find a bunch of information about this tournament. If you want to go there, there's a short code of JX1C is probably the easiest way to find it. Yeah, no, if you go there and like go to like more tournaments on Cobra, like it doesn't show up because there are so many other tournaments registered right now that like
I see.
It has fallen off the page. So JX
tournaments,
yeah.
And then is it /JX1C?
Tournaments.nullsignal.games/JX1C. There's also like on the main page, there's like got a short code, and then you can just type in JX1C and hit go to tournament, and it'll bring you right to it.
That's the Continental. That's the main event.
Oh, yes, it is. Okay,
not
well, anyway,
servers.
Fine.
We'll put a
it's
link.
Fine. Yeah, it was good.
Wait, we did stuff before any of that.
That's true. We went up on Thursday.
Nice and early.
It was great. I got to your house at like 6 or something, and you immediately started vlogging, which I just loved. That was great.
Loved it.
Yeah, it was my favorite thing. We spent, I don't know, like the entire drive up to at least until we got into Vermont, just trying to figure out what I was doing wrong with your camera. Because we were trying to take pictures of fog and somehow couldn't get a decent picture of fog. Like I couldn't accurately capture how hard it was to see.
I was trying to remotely tell you how to operate the exposure meters on my quite complicated camera.
Yeah, and my normal camera usage is more of a those ones that like you get at like a party that like you twist a thing and it like clicks a bunch to like change
disposable
to,
film cameras?
one of them. Yeah. That's about my level of filmmaking skills.
Well, you leveled up. You did good.
Yeah, I can now take instructions on what buttons to press.
So we drove up to Montreal. It was like a 4.5 hour drive on the way up, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah.
About, we made a quick pit stop in the middle of absolutely nowhere, thinking that there was a Dunkin's there because Nick is real good at GPS.
Yeah, I'm bad at GPS. This is what we've learned is that like every time Eric was like, "Hey Nick, like find like a convenience store off the highway or something real
gas
fast."
Station or Dunkin's.
Don't do that. Don't
every
trust
one
me.
that we went to was either not there or closed. It happened like 3 times, I think, maybe.
On the way
4.
back was rough. Like the way back, I like really had to use a restroom. And I was like, okay, here's one. And then like we drive up and it's like closed. Yes, Montpellier. It was also Sunday night in Vermont. I mean, things closed down early.
Gas stations there close at like 5.
Yeah. So there was a lot of wandering around. I think we turned around on one road like 5 times because the GPS kept getting confused. And that was after we knew where we were going.
Go left. And I went right. Or left, and it was like, no, I meant right. And then we did that several times. Anyway, we got up around lunch, a little before lunchtime. We went out and got some smoked meats from Schwartz's Deli. We met John V.
Yeah, with John V. That was fun.
We did a bunch of sightseeing, and then we were kind of killing some time waiting to go to Andre's to stream, and then some darkness occurred.
Yeah. Okay. Montreal's a great city. It's amazing. There's so much cool stuff to see. There's art everywhere, and you might overdo it. Here's my recommendation: Liquid IV.
Listener.
Yes, you, the listener, not me, the Nick, who did overdo it. Liquid IV. It's great. It's good stuff. You should use it, and I should have used it before I collapsed of heat exhaustion in a metro station and spent like 2 hours just having the worst time. Not a good time, well, very bad time.
Collapsed is almost like a pleasant description of what happened.
That is true.
First you like got pale, went over to the garbage can, crawled over to it, grabbed the edge of a quite dirty garbage can, threw up in it.
I'm pretty sure I cut my thumb on that because the next day I realized that I had a cut thumb and I didn't know where it came from. So yeah.
You then like draped an arm over it and like really started to like embrace the garbage can as you threw up, like you'll see people do it with toilets sometimes. Mm-hmm. And then your head just like dropped into it. And I was like, uh-oh. I grabbed you and you were passed out.
I was out.
Not conscious.
I was entirely and totally
thought
out. Yes.
that Nick was dying or dead, and people are starting to come around and say like, what? Do you need help? Do you go, people are asking me in French and in English, do you need to call 911? And I said, yes.
Yeah.
And then you kind of came to after about 15 seconds and said...
And let's be clear, I was pissed. Because in my mind, I had been taking a nice sleep. Like you woke me, you were like shaking me and like, Nick, come on, Nick. And I like thought it was the next day and we were at the hotel.
There's a lot more panic in my voice than that.
No. It was like, hey, Nick, come on, time to get up, lazy bones. No. But in my mind, it was like the next day and I was just waking up from a nice, pleasant nap. It was very nice. And then all of a sudden I'm being shaken awake and now I'm in a metro station on the ground.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So that was exciting. Long story short, eventually we got the paramedics to come because ambulances were like busy for a while. I'm calling Andre and letting him know that we're not going to be there in time. And he was like, oh, maybe I can come by and get you. Me and Maddie can come get you because we might be faster than the ambulances and like take you to the hospital.
Which was close to true, I think.
Close to true, yeah. The paramedics did show up eventually. They checked you out and said, actually, everything's okay. Like, in the meantime, you had continued to vomit and were, like, sweating all over the
it was not good.
Ground. Your fingers were tingling, you were saying. And it was like, Jesus, what's
fingers and toes. Like, it was good. Yeah, no, I was worried about myself. And, like, this is a thing that has happened to me for, like, ever since I was a little kid. I just get heat exhaustion really easily and overdo it. And this is easily the worst time I've had it, like by I don't know, an order of magnitude. I don't know that I've ever like lost consciousness before.
Wish I had known that this was the thing that happened before it occurred. Me.
Normally I'm much better at managing it, but honestly, like you managed it pretty darn well, all things considered, that we were in a foreign country and all of a sudden your friend is having a medical emergency and you find yourself surrounded by people who like, are mostly French speakers.
And most of them are walking by, I think, effectively assuming that you were drunk, like day drunk, and were just vomiting everywhere.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like immediately apparent until afterwards when you were like lying on the ground pale and like breathing heavily that anything was medically very scary happening.
Yeah. and like apparently according to the paramedics, nothing medically very scary was happening because like my blood pressure was fine and my blood sugar was fine and a whole bunch of other things.
Heart rate. Yeah, everything was good. So
it's just I needed a ton of Gatorade. So
yep, we walked up with you quite slowly up, got out of the station, got some fresh air, and then they gave you a barf bag, and we got in the rental car or like the zip
Andre's car
with Andre and Maddie.
Yeah, and I got back to the hotel, and you guys got me snacks and stuff. This is like the boring part.
Well,
like,
it was
honestly,
pretty funny that we were driving back in the car, and you had like one last little like, I feel like I need to puke, and so you were like heaving in the back of the car with the barf bag, and apparently Andre has quite a strong sympathetic vomit like reflex.
Yeah, props to Andre for staying on the road. Wait, no, Andre wasn't driving. That's right.
Maddie was driving. Maddie was driving, but he told me later he was like, I was pretty
that
close
was
to
touch
having
and
to
go.
tell Maddie to like pull over, and I think I need to join him.
Look, I would have passed him the bag. I would have passed him the bag.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay,
the bag
it's only
which,
courteous.
Like, had a leak on the
that part was
counter
bad.
later.
Yeah, that was not good.
Very happy I bought a little hand sanitizer from the convenience store that was like 5 feet away from where you were having your episode in the station. The woman there spoke very little English, but was asking me like if you were my partner, like are we together? And I was like, no, he's a friend of mine, and he's just he's I think hasn't had enough water or something. And she was shaking her head at all the decisions of the things that I was buying. I got like a Gatorade and some weird. There was no pretzels, and the people were saying like buy pretzels for some salt or
salty
something.
things. And,
there was nothing there that were pretzel like, so I got some kind of spicy cheese puffy things.
Those things were really spicy.
Yeah, no, I don't want these.
I did not eat those at the time. I ate them like the next day or the day after, I think. And there was a very nice woman, Bianca, had some sort of medical training. I don't know.
Shout out to Bianca.
Bianca was great. And then Ed, who's a medical student, stopped by and was, just helping me stabilize and be like, no, maybe don't eat those.
Yeah, we just had these doctors coming up and like helping us, or people,
just like
soon to be doctors.
Yeah, it was cool. So anyway, people
mostly telling me
Montreal,
to calm down.
Very nice. Yeah. I mean, I was fine. I knew what was going on, and you were freaking out about stuff.
Yeah, I know. So that happened. I did end up going over to Andre's for a quick stream and had some poutine. I had Andre was like, "What kind of poutine do you want?" And I was like, whatever's good. You let me know. Get some stuff." And he ended up getting me the crazy meat one that had like shredded beef, bacon, and like chopped up bits of hot dog in it, which was wild. I had never had that. I had my fill and brought it back to the room and showed Nick and was on a FaceTime with my kids at some point eating some of it. And they were like, Dad, it's like you're throwing up backwards.
Yeah, watching you eat that made me sicker than the heat exhaustion did. But Andre.
No
I may
criticism
impart
to Andre here.
owe my life to you, okay? But if you're going to show someone a good time in your city, okay, don't do the poutine with hot dogs. Okay, there's a better poutine than that, right? There must be.
I mean, I think just the classic, cheese curds and gravy is a great start. But honestly, it was quite good. The hot dogs are a funny step, but it was like honestly, it was like a fun flavor to have gotten that.
Yeah, it just feels like something I would have made for myself in like sophomore year of college.
Apparently,
I don't know. I got fries and gravy and hot dogs and bacon. Let's just throw them all together.
Yeah. Speaking of food, we the smoked meat sandwiches
so
from Sources
good.
were great. They were very, very good. We did get the Montreal bagels the next morning from Fairmont,
which are weird.
I loved them. I thought it was great. Weird, huh? Very,
I don't know.
Very diplomatic.
I was not. I know they're like denser, they're sweeter and everything, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just like a New York bagel kind of guy, New York style. I don't know.
Yeah, I ended up bringing a bagel back home to my family that wasn't fresh, but they got to try it and stuff. And then was there another food thing that we got like at some point the staff ordered like the volunteer stuff, Kate and
that
I'm
Lebanese
not sure who
food.
organized it, but they got was it Latvian?
I thought you said it was Lebanese.
Lebanese like takeout food. It was like Lebanese fast food.
Stuff was so good.
Wraps with all sorts of sauces. That was the best. And Nick, got to have some of it.
Oh yeah.
So sightseeing was fun. Then we needed crown of servers, like Nick mentioned. We came in 17th eventually. The last round I realize now we should have 6 for 1. I don't know why we didn't. We absolutely should have 6 for 1. And we actually would have gotten it because we won. We swept the first round.
What's 6 for 1-ing?
So 2 for 1-ing in double-sided Swiss is saying,
right.
like, let's play one game and whoever wins it gets 6 points.
Okay.
In order to say, like, if we are both low or near like the bubble and a single win won't get us there, like if we split, then neither of us gets anything. So you 2 for 1.
Got it.
So
okay. So you just agree that it's going to be
right?
all or nothing, basically.
Right. All or nothing. And
no
it's
split.
your last shot, shoot for the moon kind of thing.
Yep.
And we should have absolutely 6 for 1. And nobody did a 6 for 1. Sorry, is it like 9? No. Yeah, 6 for 1 here because there's 3 players. It's usually
right.
2 for 1.
Right.
And either 6 for 1 or 6 for 3 kind of, right? We all played a round.
Yeah.
And that was very fun. We ended up coming in 17th and we were shooting for 16th, which was the point at which you did not get the foil
transfer of wealth, I believe, was the...
Was it transfers or was it petty caches?
No, the petty caches were in startup, I know, because I got some.
Oh, so that's right. Yeah, the foil transfer of wealth.
Yep. Speaking of which, I think...
And the Sting was the main event. And we didn't get it, but we ended up in 17th, which was one of the random raffle selections for these double thick acrylic Alcos that Kate made with a golden egg in the middle and a built-in spin dial for the counters. It is beautiful.
They're good. This is like the best ID accessory I've seen.
Yeah. I couldn't have been happier coming in 17th in that instance because I had already gotten the foil transfers because of volunteering. So, Speaking of which, I think you still have those.
I was actually just thinking the same thing. I'm like, I don't think I took those out because Eric lent them to me since, of course, I was playing Sable. So
right, the next day, yeah.
Well, that day
that was fun.
But yeah,
we didn't do great, but we had a blast. We got to meet some people. And what happened? We went out to... You stayed in because you were still kind of recovering.
Yeah, kind of.
And I went out very briefly to this fancy...
food court, right?
It was like a fancy food court. Had a really good poke bowl and a beer, and then everybody disbanded pretty quickly. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's going to be that kind of socializing. And just ended up coming back to the room and going to sleep, which was fine because it turned out that I was quite tired.
Yeah.
And then it was the main tournament. You started up. It was 8:30 registration, I think. And I did commentary. Had a really good time doing commentary. And you played games throughout the day. How did you end up doing?
So I ended up coming 4 and 6 all told, which was like 50 something. Let's find myself 63rd.
So 98 players, right?
Yes. Yep. I came 63rd, 4 and 6. So 2 wins Corp, 2 wins Runner. I felt pretty good about it. There was really only one point where I made like a catastrophic misplay that I felt bad about. And then by the end, the last game, 10 games of Netrunner is a lot.
It's a lot.
And by my last game, I had a very generous opponent, Disciple of the Void, I believe was the name, who kept letting me take back things I at one point I took 5 clicks when I didn't run my mark. that I kept forgetting to assign a mark. I would roll a mark, and I was using this little thing that that I got from John V for you put the die in the HQ, R&D, or archives for your mark. And I would roll like HQ, and then I'd put it in the archive slot. And my opponent's like, is that, I just like would put the 1 face up in the archive slot. I was so fried. I had no idea what was going on. I missed like a billion triggers, and he was like, no, it's fine. He could have gotten me like DQ'd like 8 times. And then he eventually just killed me with a double measured response. And I'm like, thank God, please just put me out of this.
Because it's like, don't worry, you can make as many mistakes as you want because I've got this in the bag already.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, like he was doing this from like turn 2. Like he was not like definitive to win. And if he hadn't killed me right there, I think I would have won. I was on like 5 points. He had no points scored. I had a full rig. It was anyway. But so.
Yeah, it was fun also watching Plural throughout the day.
Yes.
As our teammate on Neon's Static.
Absolutely rocking it.
Very, very clever kind of server team name because Plural kept winning. Plural.
Yeah.
It was so fun to watch Plural throughout the rounds. And eventually, at the end of the day, made the top 16 in 15th place and got to play in day 2.
Yes.
So let's see. Then that night, we went out with Plural to a little like pub that
bar,
was through a garbage alley.
Yes, the garbage alley was not the best connection, but
we walked like from the hotel down the alley where all the dumpsters were and just piles of trash everywhere, and then came out the other side. We could have gone the nice way, but this was faster.
It marginally, it was not faster enough to be worth the smells.
Yeah, got a couple beers and talked about like TTRPGs for a while that the two of you are definitely a lot more versed in, and I've always had bad experiences with. And
we'll get you playing something.
Yeah, maybe. I'm interested in some of the stuff coming out of Quinn's Quest. Big fan of Quinn's Quest as a channel. This is Quinn's from Shut Up and Sit Down fame, who then splintered off and has formed a channel that is dedicated to tabletop RPGs, which is a major passion for him. And his writing and performance in those videos is fantastic, and it really inspires me in the stuff that I do. So I've been watching those, and in just watching them, I'm like seeing stuff like Heart and what was the other one we were talking about a bunch?
Mothership or something.
Mothership, yeah. I think it's called Mothership, and
it's the alien one.
Yeah, TTRPG. Do I have this right? Yes, Mothership.
Yeah,
they both have me very intrigued because they are my jam as far as theme and setting,
and kind of one-shotty. That was
one of them. Mothership is very one-shotty. I think that you can play Heart a bit one-shotty, but I'm not entirely sure if that's one. Anyway, I've actually started listening to some actual plays to see like does this interest me? If it's more, I'm not a huge like role play person. If I had to be a lot in the voice of my character and like acting, I would not be a fan. I've tried that, and it is very awkward for me, and I can't quite get over the self-consciousness aspect. But I think if it was more mechanical, I'm saying like my character does this, I would, if I could refer more to the third person, I might have fun if it's mechanically engaging.
Yeah,
but.
Yeah,
anyway.
No, you'd love fourth. I made the joke that you would love fourth ed D&D,
which was hilarious to me.
And no one, you totally knew what that meant.
Okay,
yeah,
still no.
It and then played like an MMO. Anyway, continue.
We had a couple beers. We had a great time. Got some sleep, and then Sunday was kind of whirlwind. You were doing a startup tournament.
Yep, threw together some startup decks, which I will say, okay. I reached out to Lucille.
Lucille, one of our patrons.
Yeah, a patron and keeper of startup in a lot of ways, on the startup balance team and all those things. And I posted, very, let's see, what was the, okay, I think I've found the exact text. At Lucy, I need foil petty caches, so I need you to send me good startup decks. Also, I'm kind of drunk and going immediately to bed, so I will sleeve and play whatever the fuck you post in here. Help me, Lucy Wong Kenobi, you're my only hope.
Did you say that?
Yes.
I didn't know. I didn't catch the last bit in the original text.
I misspelled Kenobi. There's a Y at the end, but instead of an I. But,
unforgivable.
Yeah, exactly. So what I wanted, right, was just to wake up to 2 deck lists, and I wouldn't know if they were good or not. And instead, what Lucy did was give me a good overview of the startup meta and a whole bunch of looks at different decks and options and different factions.
It was like 12 deck lists or something.
I had to like make decisions and stuff.
It was great.
That wasn't what I wanted.
You can't ask Lucy for like
that is true.
Just the one piece.
Yeah.
You know, like that's not how that works.
That's
she's too passionate about it.
It's fair. I just was not, I really just wanted to wake up and just have cards sitting like
you
that
sound
I would
super
have to
grateful.
Yes. Yeah, no, I'm very grateful. It honestly, like the 2 decks that I ended up playing were a ton of fun.
We
props
did a
to
test
Lucy
game
for eventually getting me the right decks.
Yeah, we did a test game and I had a good time playing Startup. It was cool. Also, like Trick Shot is legal in that format. So.
It's extremely legal.
Yeah.
And good and fair and fine.
So you did Startup.
Yeah.
I was doing commentary. I think maybe after, I'm not sure if it was 2. We have a bracket thing. Hold on a second. We can see where Plural played Sokka first round.
3 round. Yeah, so he lost to Sokka in the first round.
Right.
He beat Redino in the second round.
Right, which was super exciting. And then he lost to Wild.
Poke
round. Poke King. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, Poke King.
Yep.
That's right. I was reading the bracket wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lost to Poke King. I was watching that game, and I was sad for him. It was like not totally. He wasn't like just getting wrecked or anything. There were some lines. It was a tight game. It was cool. It was fun to watch. And then we ended up leaving at about 5, which I think was the second to last round. Like was about to set up, but it was the longest drive home. We were supposed to leave at 5. I was supposed to go on for one more round of commentary, but the tournament had been delayed enough that it was like it was going to be 6 something until we finished up, and then had to go load up the truck and get out of there. So whatever. We ended up getting back at
10:30. I want to say
10:30.
Yeah,
which was perfect.
Not bad.
I'm glad we left when we did. The drive back was, we experienced many GPS looking for gas stations. And having to pee.
Yeah,
crossing the border was no issue in either direction. That was really good.
Yep.
Artist Colony was amazing. I exchanged for so many alt arts and traded for alt arts with people. I can't wait to do a swag stream recap on our next stream.
Yeah, on Monday. This upcoming Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that's Continentals. Thanks so much. Before we forget for everybody who organized the event. I'm not going to name names because there are too many people and I will forget them. But you know who you are. You did the fantastic job.
Yeah, the stream was amazing. Like legit, go like the interstitial like vamping stuff is even great. You guys did such a good job.
You popped on for a quick interview at some point.
Yeah, and like John V is like a born interviewer. It was great. He was just like moving me along, what do you like? What's this? What's that? And we didn't stay on any topics for too long. We didn't go like, I am prone to go down rabbit holes a little bit. And he was just, moving along topics and everything. And solid. So go watch those. The games are good too. All over. It's so good. There's one particular game that goes for 3 rounds and is like one of the best games of Netrunner ever.
I was going to say, you got to go watch. There's one game. I don't know I think Emily might have been on stream multiple times.
Yeah.
But if you go look around, I'm not sure if it was during Swiss or during finals, find the games that Emily played in and watch those. That was incredible. Emily was like coming in as I think 3 months into the game player, looking for a single win, ended up making top cut.
Yeah.
Coming in.
Her last tournament before this was like a 10-person. Like that was her biggest tournament. Prior to Continentals, coming in 7th at Continentals. Wild.
Really fun Moosely Hot deck.
Yeah.
And then Diluvian, who also just joined as a patron. Thank you so much, Diluvian.
Sick.
After getting to meet and chat with Diluvian in person, was one of was in that 3-turn, I think it was 3-turn long game that Nick is referring to. Go check out Diluvian's game on stream near the end of the first day.
Yeah.
So on the first day, there's 2 streams split up by the lunch break. The second one that posted, I think it's the last or the second to last game that Diluvian's in. Check that out.
Very
against
good.
CTZ.
Yeah. No, it was such a fun game.
A lot of fun. All right. Now we're done with the recap. Anything else on Continentals and Montreal?
Oh my God, we haven't gotten to the main topic.
Oh, yeah. Hashtag let's make Worlds happen in Montreal 2026.
That's a bad
That would be
hashtag.
amazing.
Hashtag Montreal Worlds 26.
Hashtag Eric would like Worlds to be in Montreal next year, please. That would be awesome. Is this a short enough hashtag? ?
Yep, that's it. That's the
spell out
hashtag.
question mark.
Yes, you do have to spell that out and then put a question mark at the end.
Okay, so into the depths. No, I'm kidding. So there's an upcoming ban list, right?
Yes, on the 17th. You might have heard about it in the only news segment about Netrunner worth listening to, the one that we did, 20 minutes ago when we were talking.
Yes. That's in 18 days from now as of recording.
Very soon.
And I think let's speculate on what we think is coming after this tournament, which was very largely blue.
Yeah, criminal.
We saw the return of purple.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of HB.
PD won the event, the only PD, I think.
Core
won
PD.
the event. Yep.
It was very odd.
A lot of Leo. Still a lot of, actually, I think there's a statistics stats.
Yeah, there is a
stats
stats page. Yep.
Cobra. Let's see. Jinteki made up 24%. NBN was 25%. A lot of what's it called?
Okay.
Nope. NBN. Nebula.
Nebula.
Thank you.
There wasn't that much Nebula. It was 7 Nebula players overall versus 21 Oko.
Yeah. I'm sorry. These
Wild.
This is the elimination top cut conversion rates.
Gotcha.
That I'm looking at.
Yep.
They don't have an overall corp stats.
They,
I think
they
just
do
the top
on
cut.
the tournament page, but yes.
Oh.
I don't know
There
about
they
win
are.
rate and stuff, but yeah.
Right. So 13% was NBN, 30% purple Hospirod,
Yeah.
and then 27.2 was Jinteki, almost entirely. There's one PT, one Restoring Humanity, one Isuak, and one Atea. And then the rest were all Alco. That was the most played at 21.
Yeah. Oko was everywhere.
Right. And then Ob at 10, BTL at 9, Nebula at 7, and then down the line from there.
But like,
and then
there were more Sable players than there were of any corp.
oh yeah, there's
Like-
31 Sable.
Like not corp ID. There were like more Sable players than there were Hospiroid players. There
Right.
were more
Yes.
Sable players. Like, and Sable, there are 2 blue IDs in the top 3 by popularity.
Right. So Sable was 31. Then it was 10 Hosh and 10 Zaya.
Yeah.
So 41 of Krim, and then plus 5 Moosely Hot. So 46.
Yeah.
46 Krim, and then of the ones below that. One
Yeah,
Az,
there
one
was-
Baz, and one more Mercury.
Yep. So, but like blue. It was a
Yeah,
tournament
very
about
blue.
Krim, right?
Comparatively, there's like 7 Magdalene and 6 Arasana. We said 10 Hoshiko, 4 Essa, and 4 Lu, 3 Dewey, and 3 Lat.
Yeah.
2 Sebastio. So very like more than half. If you look at the pie chart, it's 53% criminal, and then 23.9 Anarch and 22 Shaper. So very, very blue.
So the
question, first of all,
yeah, we expect a
on-
blue card to get banned, right?
I expect a blue card to get banned. Now,
Yeah.
one note that is worth mentioning here is that like I don't believe that ban lists should go after the problem of ubiquity. I think they should go after the problem of not so fun to play against, like kind of miserable, or so
Yeah.
strong that there's no other legitimate option. And I don't think that we're there. I think that Sable is the smoothest right now
Yep.
with a really good tool set, can deal with just about everything and isn't really weak to much. But I think playing against Sable is fun.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's like got that little element of randomness because you don't know where your mark is going to be on any given turn, and that can really determine a lot of things. And now with Deep Dive gone, it's not like they have like killer like, haymaker closeout turns very often, right? You've got your deepest dive kind of stuff is like, you can sweep the hand with like cupillations or twinnings, but for the most part, you're seeing
Yeah,
like 2 or 3
twinning is the
cards
answer
at a
though,
time.
right?
Yeah.
Everybody's on twinning. Almost every list on this Sable at the event was on a twinning.
Yep.
I think.
It's a good card, turns out.
It just makes sense with the way that it's the standard, machine of criminal.
Yeah. Chesba's
Now-
twinning, all that.
then I think the next natural question with that line of reasoning is, how would you feel, Nick, if Worlds was this meta with no changes to the ban list?
I wouldn't feel terrible. Like, the corpse side is pretty varied. And I think a lot of the symptoms that we have as far as like corp weakness are just like low, like small card pool. And I don't know, like maybe it's just because I am a Crim player, but I feel like they are in an overall good spot. I could see something being done to help out Anarch. You know, they feel like the ones that are the most like pigeonholed into tearing down ice and things like that as a build. There's a lot more you can do with Shaper and with Criminal, you know, as far as varying the cards that go in. But in Anarch, I feel like you kind of have to be playing on like a Crew Chisel Charm kind of setup.
Right.
Maybe I'm wrong about that, but
I guess the other question too is, does it feel like a corp or runner meta to you? Do you feel like the corps are able to keep up with runners, or vice versa? What's your feeling on that?
I think that the corps that do well, okay, LEO did really well at this one, but like the big ones coming into it were Oko, Nebula, and various forms of Wayland, mostly Ob, right? Those are the three that I expected to see the most of, and specifically all of them on kill lists, right? Nebula with false leads and, you know, just tagging you up and then killing you with end of the lines out of, you know, just having a bunch of clicks. Oko with a ton of grinders and asset spam kind of thing, and Ob doing a very similar thing to Oko, but measured response is just a 3 of because it's free. So those are kind of the lists that I expected to see, and obviously, like, you know, PD, core PD with like 9 pieces of ice in it won the tournament. You know, there was a fair amount actually of like poetry representation.
Yeah, poetry was wild.
You know, Leo was all over the place, which like was a scoring deck, you know. It seems like a couple of the big testing groups brought those. But it feels like the meta is still kind of being shaped around the fact that like the best way for Corpse to win right now is to kill people. And I kind of wish that were a little less true. I kind of wish scoring were a little more viable on its own. Like what I'm trying to figure out is like, did Leo do well because Leo is a good deck, especially with Luminal back in the pool? Or did Leo do well because everyone was teching so hard against kill that it left like a gap that Leo could exploit?
I think,
Leo and PD. And
I think it was a bit more the latter.
That's my thought, right? So,
right, which is fine to me. I think that's fine. So there's a couple things, right? Like I agree with what you're saying. I think that because runners are strong in general right now, I think the corps are tempted and sort of forced to go sideways into kill. I think if the runner's power level in general gets taken down a touch and something in the kill arsenal gets removed, I think that would make for a fun mix. Now, I'm not an SBT person, but my gut instinct is to say, let's take Sable specifically down a little, like a peg. And they've tried to do that a number of times. They just took out Info Bounty and they took out Deep Dive, which is effectively a Sable card. Also,
I don't think that's true. It was better in green, but still.
Okay. Sure. I guess you could play without it. It was fine. You could be on twinning. The question when you sat down from a Sable was like, let's see influence. And if we saw anything other than green, then you most likely weren't on Deep Dive. Right. But it was a list that was doing just fine, like very, very well. It was, I think, the most performative list. Sokka and the King, I believe, were on it for a while and was just like, yep, this list is good, the best. I can do everything I need to with this list. And then Nebula is doing this waiting game thing where they're fast advancing out false leads with a petty cache and then oppoing you when you touch cards. And that's rough. So like my short solution, this is my proposed solution, is one card on each side. And there are some things that it doesn't address, and maybe we can talk about this. I'd say if you hit Carpe Diem specifically, which is a card that basically only gets played in Sable, but can be played for some tempo on the other side, but it's not great for like Musli Hots and Zayas.
I feel like it's in Musli Hot just because it is a draw.
Right. I'm not sure if you play it in Zaya.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
There's 40 cards is just, you would rather be playing other cards, Bravado and Clean Getaway.
Right.
You know?
And this is a funny ban because it's like this card is not overpowered, but the deck is somewhat ubiquitous. Again, I don't think this is a crime. If I had to ban something to shape the blue side, I think Carpe Diem is a nice hit to maybe encourage people to get away from Sable and try some other stuff. You could still play Sable very effectively, I think, without Carpe Diem, but it is just easy value when you get the mark and you get a free Carpe, clickless credits. It's very, very good.
The other thing, too, is that it's a card that really only hits Crim, right?
Yes.
Like if you banned Boomerang, Hochko would feel that
Anarchs
pretty
are
hard
very sad.
too.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, like they need those tools to be able to get into ice early to start doing their thing. And so that's a blue card you could ban that is very powerful, that is all over the meta right now, but it is one that's going to have more shockwaves, whereas like nobody is importing Carpe Diem.
Right.
Now,
We should be fully
elephant in that
transparent
room,
here.
right?
Part of the worry for me, and this is like not even really a big worry, but okay. So I ordered like 200. So I think it's something like 66 sets of our beloved alt art Bravado, and went to go sell them at the tournament. And I feel like most people in that area already had these from previous events and things like that. So we didn't actually sell all that many, and we have quite a bit of them left over. And I want to continue playing with it because it's an amazing card in general. So I'm a little worried that it gets banned before Worlds and I'm stuck with Overstock. And also we don't get to play with Bravados anymore, which I do genuinely feel like is an awesome card.
Can I steelman the argument for Bravado?
Yes.
All right. So just to like put out the best version of this argument, Bravado is also a card that only goes in blue decks, right? Nobody's really imported Bravado all that often.
That's not true. It gets imported when people don't have anything else they need and they just need money. You'll see Bravados, and now you'll see Transfer of Wealths.
Yes. Well, I think Transfer of Wealth is far more likely. There's also other options in blue that you can import, like Clean Getaway and things like this.
Yeah, now there are more options. Bravado used to get more imported more into like a kit deck that was like, I have everything I need.
Right. Yeah. Or a lot of the shaper console that draws when you play an event. I'm blanking on it. Begins with an A. Anacam. There you go.
Yeah.
But it is a card that basically only hurts in its current design criminal, and really hurts like all criminals, right? Like I think basically everybody was running Bravado.
Yes.
And Clean Getaway is easier to import, right? It's 2 influence versus Bravado's 3, so people are more likely to import it. It's also a core cards now with elevation, so like banning it is an issue.
I like the mechanics of playing the Bravado though. Like it's an interactive card.
Right. That is the thing about Bravado that I think like really defends it, is that it offers a ton of cool choices to both the runner and the corp, and it is one of the few cards in Crim that is not contingent on success.
Right. It's not contingent on success. You have to pay 3 to get it played, which makes it not always playable, right? You can't just like, if you have 4 or 5 credits, you can't just play Bravado into ice and expect to be able to break it.
It's not like Carpe where you can click once for a credit and then play your Carpe. Bravado, if you are at 0, Bravado is an entire turn just to be able to play it to get to 6. And then you still have to deal with whatever ice you're face checking into.
I feel like it helped move the game forward. It encourages people to face check into dangerous situations sometimes. It might be worth the risk, but those risky moments produce big moments.
Yeah, and like the decisions for the runner too. I'm looking at a server with 2 or 3 pieces of ice. Is that better to run than a server with only 1 piece of ice? Because I might get more if the corp can only afford to res one of them, and it's like the second or third one in. Right, I'm getting more money that way.
I do really like that it encourages you to interact with deep servers sometimes. That's
Yes.
neat. That's a rare thing. I think it's a very well designed card. So this is like our love letter to Bravado, and like, you know, just a voice out there saying, I hope this doesn't get hit, because it has been talked about a fair amount in articles and stuff. Like, we thought about Bravado, and every time I'm like, no, don't touch that card.
It's been like on the watch list in like every ban list article for the last couple of rounds, I think.
Right, but I agree. I don't want them to ban one of the new, like Clean Getaway would be a bad ban. I don't like that at all. Transfer Wealth is iconic. You can't do that. Like, that's now suddenly it replaced the iconic slot of taking money and the identity of criminal. So you can't touch that. I do think that Carpe Diem would be a nice clean hit for Sable. So that's my case. Do you agree, or is there another thing that you were considering?
Yeah, no, I think that's basically where I would land with it. I don't like, the only other stuff that I can think of isn't even really like crim specific, but like you could look at things like efficiency tools like Open Market or Class Act as a card is like part of, you know, you were talking about Sable just being like a smooth deck to play.
I kind of hate
part
both
of that
those.
is the filtered draw. No, I agree.
Like,
I think specifically Class Act, the issue is that if you ban it,
Kill gets a lot easier.
Kill just gets stronger. Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Because it is in there as a 3X because it is really strong tech against kill decks.
It's their like Steelskins are in natively in Anarch, and like Class Act is a way not to die in natively without spending influence in criminal.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm just looking at like other things that you can hit that would only really hit criminal without impacting the other factions. Because I don't think that, you know, Shaper to me seems like in a pretty good place. Anarch probably needs a little bit of help, but like, I don't know what you can take off of the current ban list that like would help Anarch without overcharging Runner again.
Yeah, there's like
as a faction.
Hermes, but not even everybody's not on Hermes, and also it really helps against the Alco matchup. No free lunch is incredibly important against kill right now.
Right.
Yep, I think it's basically
and no free lunch is a card that gets imported too because it's low on influence.
Right.
It's
it's a good tech piece. I don't think you can touch those. Like Pinhole is critical to the state of the game. There's nothing else like Chesva. Chesva is the only other thing that I could think of hitting.
I could see it.
I like Chesva.
I do too. I think Chesva is very good. It's obviously very good. It has some weirdness specifically with, you know, central servers and pinholes and things like that just make it very efficient. But it is another card that you could hit if you wanted to be like targeting the efficient cards in Runner that really only get played in blue.
Yeah, but
you'll see it sometimes in
all
Shaper.
of criminal.
Yes.
It hits the whole
agree.
faction, which I think is not the intention. So,
yeah.
Okay. So we've talked a lot about Runner side. I think are both of the position that Shaper and Anarch right now don't really need to be touched in the current state of things.
Or they need like Anarch might need a little bit of a boost.
Yeah. You could take something off the list potentially for like, I don't know if that's DreamNet, but
I don't know what that would be. Yeah, well, DreamNet is just a card for Hosh, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's like the only reason why it doesn't make too much sense to put that back. But it is a fun card. I love playing DreamNet Hosh.
I mean, Lat can use it, right? Because Lat starts with one link, so you could install something that gives you link to get to two. But like, come on. Yeah, exactly.
What cards give link right now? Is there any?
There's a hardware I want to say that gives link.
Is
right?
it
Like
T400
+1 link
memory
and
diamond?
plus one hand size. I thought that gave link too.
That gives mem and hand size, not link.
It's mem. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not sure if there's anything that grants link right now. There's no like access to global sec anymore. That was like the basic core set card that gave link.
Right. Yeah. So maybe you just can't get it. In which case, you know, DreamNet, since it relies on the link and otherwise is literally only a card for Hosh on one face, right?
Yeah. There used to be Dyson Mem chip, which gave the MU and the link, but now that's T400 and it's MU and hand size.
Yeah.
Or like rabbit holes or something. Those are the old ways to get it. Anyway, so on the corp side, my proposed solution is to ban false lead, because as I stated in our recent threat video, it is an agenda that has only ever caused pain. It is a torture device. It's the bad feels card. There are some interesting play lines when they get scored. You have to start thinking about things in like modulo 2, having a remaining click so that you can't get just completely all of your clicks removed. It adds a bunch of awkward timing windows to everything you do in the game, which I hate.
Yeah, that part is
between
rough.
every action is like action, action, action.
Until you
so
only have one click left, and then you can't use it. So then it's not like that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's logistically a nightmare. It is a thing that enables this very uninteractive Nebula deck.
Yep.
That I also hate. I don't know if we've seen it much in Alco.
No, so I'm looking through the lists from Montreal and just going through the Alco lists from the top cut.
There's not.
I'm not seeing any.
Right.
So, but you're playing Stings and see how they runs, Regenesis, Longevity, all those kinds of things. Fuji E's, obviously. But those are a lot of the ones in Alco. See, this is kind of my issue with just doing that on the Corp side, is that False Lead is a card that really only hits the Nebula deck. And, I don't have a problem with hitting the Nebula deck, but I feel like there are other things you could do to the Corp side generally. And specifically, the card that I am thinking of is Petty Cash.
No.
I know. It's a very fun, it's a very cool, it's a very good card. It's also in all of these decks, okay?
Yeah, that's fine. I think that is good because Corp right now is getting run over.
That's
in general.
But is it?
And we're trying to encourage them to be able to score, right? So I think it's very easy to get lose sight of what the goal is in these things when you're looking at a specific, you're looking at Alco. How do we hurt Alco and how do we hurt Nebula? But overall, the goal I think is to make runners a bit weaker and Corps a bit stronger, right?
I think so, but
or stay the same. Right, Corp stay the same, runner a bit weaker.
But I see Petty Cash as specifically a tool that is used in those types of kill decks rather. Again,
Zwicky, Nuvum loves it. All these Corp IDs love that card and work so satisfyingly with it.
All true,
and again,
but those are kill decks, half the time. You know what I mean?
No, not.
No, come on.
Zwicky.
Okay. If you're playing Zwicky and Nuvem, you have 3 measured response in your deck.
Sure, that's true. But I mean,
right.
I don't know. I just really like that card. I don't think it deserves a ban, and it is brand new.
I don't think
I think that if you hurt the Nuvem deck, sorry, not the Nuvem, the Nebula deck, then if everybody's on Alco, I think it's easier to tech against Alco more specifically if you don't also need to handle False Lead.
And the tag. So that's fair because you can drop the no free lunches and just bring stone chips at that point.
No.
Why not?
Because the most popular list of Alco is on Oppo Research.
Is it? But it's not. But you can deal with that just by being rich, right? You don't need to sit on that. Whereas right now you bring the no free lunches because you can have them sitting on the board so that when you are tagged, you can pop them clicklessly after you've been had your click stolen by false leads.
Yeah.
That is the reason you run
I think
those.
no free lunches are still very valuable in that as a tech tool. Stone chips are a good tech tool as well. And honestly, the one that we've been seeing more recently, which is quite good, is Airblade. Airblade's X.
Well, Airblades, is specifically a tech tool against Oko because it only works during a run for either the on encounter or the net damage effects. So
right. Agreed. And I think that's good that now more people might be encouraged to put the Airblades in, which might really help against that matchup. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You could afford to fit that over maybe another tag removal piece or something like that. So I don't know. That's my proposal. Is there something else besides Petty Cash that you would no? The answer is no on that one. Veto.
I am looking at that merely from a statistical in the decks that we want to hit. Petty Cash is the overlap in the Venn diagram, I don't like the idea of it going, to be honest. I'm just, again, from that side, I can see an argument for it in the same way I can see an argument for Bravado, right? But I don't want either of them to go because I think they're both good cards.
Right. Just on that note, a lot of people don't like playing against Alco. I think that's probably fair to say.
Yep.
I am an Alco proponent. I have been really, really enjoying my play with this ID. It is definitely a lot stronger than like PTU and Tie-In, the other ID that came out. And then it's funny because like you compare Alco to PT or you compare Nebula to Synapse, and you're like,
God,
what happened here?
Yeah.
Especially Nebula to Synapse. Oh my God,
Ooh.
Synapse is unplayable. But I think Alco presents some really cool ways to play the game. It is open to a lot of like, just because mostly it's just card draw, so you can get a lot of card draw. You can do asset spam. You can do like grinder, false lead, kill you asset spam, where it's like you can't touch anything, and then if you do, I kill you. You can do my thing that I brought to the tournament was trying to kill using chip damage. It had mitosis and cerebral overrider, which people got really like grumpy about when they heard about that. But then I played against like John V, who was like making fun of me for playing this whole time, and we had a great game.
Yeah,
and he said afterwards like that it felt like pretty cool to try and take the puzzle apart as he was playing it, because he knew what was in there to some extent. And I do think that not knowing is like just hitting a cerebral kind of sucks. But I had, other issues in there to deal with, like clearing house and things like that, which is eventually how I won that game. With like a 7 counter clearing house that popped before the end of, like, he ran HQ and I popped a moon pool to put 2 more counters on it, and then got 1 more with a cohort guidance program at the start of turn, and then like killed with 7.
Wild.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. But I don't know. I think that deck is flexible and fun, and while maybe it is definitely the leader in popularity right now, I think it's in a good place. And people have talked about banning Fut Zwan Batisita. I think that would be sad.
Yeah, see, I don't.
That's a very
I like
cool card.
That card. The card, honestly, that I would ban over Foot is Anemone.
I think I agree with that.
Like, if you want to hit Oko, Anemone does so much for Oko. It makes all of your traps scarier. All of anything you install on the board behind a piece of ice now has at least 2 damage attached to it. Anemone,
and you trigger the ID
exactly.
twice.
That's the thing. That's the real thing with it. Is
3
that
times sometimes.
Anemone can fully charge your ID, guaranteed, and maybe do more when you res it. And it's just
once
a
for
lot.
The discard of the card
From
to
HQ.
trigger the thing,
Yep.
and then you do 2 net guaranteed, so that's another bunch. And then if you fire the sub, it's a 3rd.
Exactly. It's like that card to me makes feeling out the puzzle really dangerous, and that can.
It's also a card that you can deal with, though.
For
like
sure.
if you run into an anemone, the answer, generally speaking, if it gets rezzed, is that you should jack out and try again next turn.
No, and I don't think Anemone is too strong. It like the only part of it, I kind of wish it didn't fully charge the Oko, right? Because that does feel closer to you interacted with my board. Bad idea. Like that kind of thing I don't like as much. But I also I think that if you do that, it really would be a huge kneecap to Oko decks. If you had to
I guess if
rely
you
on
wanted to hit
other
them
stuff.
specifically, it is it's in other decks, but it is like Alco wants that card.
Yes.
Like you put at least 2 in. I think. Let's see. Let's flip through the list. 2 anemone, 2 anemone, 3 anemone, 3 anemone,
and
it's in just about everything that this deck is running.
And it's like one of the most important cards in the deck.
Right. You could definitely, and Jinteki is chock full of sentries. We could find a replacement, right?
Right.
I like
nothing,
that. I like,
nothing
let's
as
say
good, but
this is our proposed ban list. Then, having heard all of our opinions here, false lead and anemone on the corpse side, and
no
Carpe
one will
Diem.
miss false lead. No one will.
No,
I just want to say
except for
that.
sickos, but that's on you.
No. Even the sickos know they're wrong.
Yeah, they know in the heart of hearts. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sickos, of course, being an endearing term here for people who like to cause pain in a card game with cardboard.
Yeah. And then, Anemone, the other thing I want to say, I think that they should make a strong statement that a lot of these bans are just because of the small card pool. Yeah. And like every card on the ban list right now should be reconsidered after the next full set releases.
100%.
Because because as Corp gets more options to throw at the runner, more things that the runner has to tech against, it is going to become harder to target the weak points in the Corp's game plan because they're just so much more varied. And this is something that we saw right before rotation, was that Corp was stronger in part because they had so many tech cards and so many little niche things and threats they could throw at people. There were so many different ways to approach the game that the runner couldn't always deal with all of them. So you were stuck more with, dealing with as many as you can and then trying to play around the others. Those kinds of things are going to become easier to do with more cards just released generically. So,
yeah, I agree. Yeah, that would be a nice thing for NSG to do if they post that article with any updates. They're just saying, by the way, yes, these cards are banned, but when the card pool expands back, on the next release or two, these ones in particular, and maybe they could list cards that are all like on a potential watch list to be released are there. Yeah, just because the card pool, the limited card pool size is really making it difficult for people to deal with it, as you said.
Yeah. Anemone is one that, like, if you put it on, I think it should be on and then off really fast. You know what I mean? Because I don't think there's actually a problem with the card. It is just this particular style of deck might be too strong right now. But
Carpe Diem if they hit that.
Yes, for sure.
For sure, Bravado if they hit that. I swear if they hit Bravado. If they do, they should really say, like, it's just for now. Please.
Yeah, it really is one that I feel like can, pretty easily come off at some point.
I hope
if it goes
that would
on.
be so sad.
It feels like one that, they've had their eye on for so long. They talked about maybe banning it prior to the release of Elevation. Like it was on the list for potential bans along with like Creative Commission and moshing.
That feels wrong. Yeah, I don't know. I get Creative Commission. Honestly, Creative Commission, like maybe you could come off.
At some point, yeah. I mean,
I guess if it comes off, it would make people play green right now.
Right. I think this is something that could happen, can come off later, right? Once we have a bit more in the card pool, more ways to tax runners, more things like that. I feel like you could maybe take it off, but like right now it's just such a strong bounce back card and there's nothing else that does anything even remotely similar.
Although right now you really got to lean into like environmental testings in Shaper, and that's it's slow. It's hard.
I agree that like Shaper Econ is in a weird spot that I'm not like a huge fan of. It's just not my play style, but like Shaper isn't generally. Playing
this Dowie deck that Laura 42 posted, and it is a lot of fun. Also on environmentals, but just like a lot of, it's also on Knick-Knack.
Specworks, I assume?
Actually Rejigs and not Specworks, which was confusing to me. I would not, but you can rejig, you can like play a Muse or a Coalescence and then rejig it to install a DZMZ to get more MU.
Oh, so you don't need to reinstall the same trigger?
Card,
yeah.
Right? You get that many credits, so it's pretty neat.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Ban list. That's our thesis and our hope.
Anemone, maybe. Definitely false lead. Carpe, please.
Carpe, not Bravado, please. Okay.
Carpe, not Bravado.
And not Chesva, because Chesva's cool.
Yeah.
I think that's it. We were trying to stick to a shorter episode, but it is now an hour and 15 in here, and I'm going to go with the classic no edit on this one.
Sick.
All ums and uhs will be left for the viewer to enjoy.
Yep.
You've been listening to Neon Static. We've been your host, Eric Hayden.
And Nick Mason.
And if you want to get in touch with us about anything we've said during the course of this podcast, you can reach us at neonstaticpod@gmail.com. It's the primary form of communication. You can leave a comment on the YouTube version of this video when it gets posted. You can join our Discord. There'll be a link in the description of the video and of this podcast to join our Discord. It is the New Hampshire Netrunners Discord, but we use it as our base for Neon Static. Hop in, say hi. Send us a email for mailbag. That was really fun getting to read those.
Yes.
And remember to run with your eyes closed, because what you can't see can't hurt you. Oh, wait.
I'm supposed
to do an outro. It's definitely coming now. Tagline, go back and listen to what I just said, because it was run with your eyes closed. Bye.
No edits.